Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching this and whenever you're watching this as well. Welcome back to my living room floor for another weekly dose of wedding chat. And this week I wanted to go into wedding stress. It sounds like a weird one as I am trying to de-stress everyone through my channel, but I kind of feel like it's become expected in society that being a bride or planning your wedding is a stressful experience. There is so much to decide. Weddings aren't traditional. Weddings don't work in a set order anymore. They're not this happens and this happens and that happens. They're not a chicken or beef dinner. They're not would you like roses in pink or yellow. There are so many different decisions to make nowadays, and I feel like this pressure can be a lot for a bride or any couple planning their wedding to feel like they have to be perfect, they have to be unique, they have to be individual, and it takes a lot to do all of those things. Brides have been nicknamed bridezillas, and I think that is just awful, and I really want to change that. I want to take all this kind of demand and stress away from you and support you in this journey, ensuring it is actually fun, enjoyable, and a creative process for you that you can really have some fun with. So today I'm coming to you with 13 tips to help make sure that this whole process is way less stressful for you, and I really hope you enjoy them, and it really does actually help your whole wedding planning process. Firstly, if we haven't met before, my name is Beth and I'm a professional wedding planner here in the UK, and this channel is my little wedding world where each week I get to share hints, tips, stories and secrets into the wedding industry and make sure that the whole process is way less stressful. Tip number 1, give yourself time. There is nothing worse than feeling like you haven't got enough time to do everything, and I'm sure in everyday life you have these same stresses, a to-do list, deadlines, things going on, stuff you've got to do all the time. Adding a wedding on top of this and giving yourself a short time scale is really stressful for you, and it doesn't have to be. Before you even set a date, think about how busy your actual life is. Think about how much time you've got for wedding planning and how much time you've got to do all the things you actually want to do for your wedding day, because actually if you want to do loads of DIY stuff, then you need to know you have the time to do this, rather than spending nights up till 2-3 o'clock in the morning trying to get everything done and just be absolutely exhausted when it comes round. So set a schedule between now and the wedding day, work out when you've got time to do things, when you've got time to meet suppliers, visit venues, go to wedding fairs, do all the fun things that you want to do with wedding planning, and make sure you give yourself enough time and enjoyment to be able to actually do this. Number 2, don't try and save money and do everything DIY if you don't want to be stressed. If you take on too much DIY, I can guarantee you it will cost yourself so much more in other ways. You won't be able to sleep at night because you'll be worrying about projects you've got to do. You won't be able to work as hard because you'll be worrying about the projects you've got to do. And all these things cost money as well. There is a lot of hidden costs within DIY. So try not to stress yourself out too much. Think about what's manageable for you to do, what you actually enjoy making and doing, and focus in on those things, and make sure you're not trying to do everything just because you're going to think it saves you a bit of money. Also, another point when it comes to DIYing, make sure that you have enough space to actually store everything that isn't going to take over your life. Having stuff everywhere and a chaotic home and DIY projects piled up everywhere isn't going to do much for your kind of mental wellness. So make sure whatever you're DIYing, you've got places to store it, you've got time to do it, and you're in the right mindset to actually enjoying these things rather than being forced to do them. Number 3, call in some help. Don't try and take everything on by yourself. This may be professionals you choose to book to do some services, or maybe friends and family who you wish to help you do DIY projects, but make sure you learn how to delegate. I know we're all control freaks, we all want to make sure everything is perfect, but you need to learn how to pass on certain tasks and let people do them for you. When you announce you're getting married, friends and family are going to be desperate to be able to help you out, so make sure there's a couple of tasks they can do, and tasks that actually help you out. Don't make up things just to keep people quiet. Find things that are going to help you and you can pass on so you can think about more important things. Number 4 on the list, don't stress yourself out about money and keep a budget. I always go on about budgets and how important they are, to relook at them, make sure you financially are in a stable position to be able to afford the things that you're planning on doing. Don't stretch yourself to have things that you know you can't afford, because in the lead up to the wedding you're just going to be worrying about money. Make a strong budget to start with. Every time you book a supplier, go back in and readjust it and make sure you're keeping on track. There is nothing worse than getting demands from suppliers or your venue to pay things and you just haven't got the money. It will cause you way too much stress and sleepless nights. It is not worth it for one wedding day. Number 5 on the list, and this is a weird one, Don't plan all the time. I usually, when I start working with clients, I work out how much time they've got to plan and how much they actually want to do at some points. Some people like to go ahead and book everything in one go and then not have to think about wedding planning for a while. Others like to take their time and maybe book 2 suppliers at one go and then have a little bit of time, I'll catch my words in a minute, off and then go and book the next one. It is totally up to you how you do it, but make sure you're not consistently planning your wedding and consistently moving from one thing to the next throughout the whole year or 18 months before your wedding. It can seem stressful, it can seem a lot. Wedding planning will be constant and you'll just be sick of doing it. So make sure you allocate times in your calendar of when you're going to do things, how you're going to do it, and then take a break and don't talk about weddings for a while so you can relax and enjoy being a bride, celebrating and partying with friends and family. Number 6, I talked about being a control freak a minute ago, and actually this one relates to that as well. When you book suppliers, trust them to do the job. They are professionals. They do this week in, week out, and they really know what they're doing. I know it can feel really worrying all the time to want to check up, make sure they've got everything. Have they thought of this? Have they thought of that? Have they covered this? The answer is probably yes. Most suppliers do this all the time, so they really know what they've got to do, and you need to just put your trust in them. Have regular meetings, have regular contact with them to discuss the things that you want, and then let them do their thing. And I promise you, it will make it so much easier for you, and you'll get incredible displays or services or whatever it is from that supplier. You hire those professionals for a reason after all, and sometimes they will just do stuff and they won't actually tell you that they've done it because that's what they do. So trust that they will, and if you have any worries, drop them a line or have a little chat with them, but don't stress too much about knowing every little detail along every step of the way. Number 7, and this is something I've had to do regularly with clients in the past, and something I make sure that none of the suppliers do or even the guests get as far as telling the couple. Request that anything that goes wrong on the day isn't told to you. You don't want to know about it. You don't want to hear if the cake was damaged and someone's had to repair it, or something's running late, or a centerpiece kind of fell over and got broken. You just want people to deal with it on the day so you can carry on enjoying yourselves. So set a rule, make sure your bridal party know about it, make sure your guests are aware that you don't care what goes wrong on the wedding day. You want to enjoy it, so keep that to yourselves, and maybe you can talk about it in the future after the wedding day has been done. This is something, tip number 8, that I do when I'm working with clients, and I create a schedule of the day, but you can totally do this yourself. I always suggest you create one big schedule of the day and you send this out to everyone involved, all the suppliers and all your bridal party and people who need to know what's going on throughout the day. This means you're creating one document and everyone has the same piece of information. If you don't do this, you will spend the week or 2 weeks before your wedding contacting everyone, sending different personalized messages, letting people know what's happening, trying to tweak the details to make sure it only includes the things that they need to know, and actually it wastes a lot of your time when you could be enjoying yourself and getting nice and de-stressed before the wedding day. Yes, the florist might not need to know everything that is going on throughout the whole day, but if they've got that document, they can make judgment calls on how they need to set up and what they need to do for themselves to be ready, and suppliers are quite used to doing this. Create this one document for all and everyone will literally be singing off the same hymn sheet then. Number 9 on the list, use technology. It is your friend when it comes to wedding planning. I'm talking about setting up a wedding email address that all your suppliers have and you as a couple both have access to. So you know everything wedding related is stored in one place and you don't have to hunt around loads of different accounts to find it. Set up a wedding website, somewhere that all your guests have one point of contact, one point of call, that's the word, for all the information, and you don't have to keep sending out lots of different emails to let people know where to park or what time this is happening or what gifts need to be brought, all those sorts of things. They can find it all out for themselves and don't need to ask you. Equally, a wedding website is great for kind of automating all the RSVPs. This means when they reply on there, it automatically goes into the back office and they automatically log everything that they need for food. This makes it really simple when you're working with suppliers at the end of the wedding, because you've just got this one document you can quickly ping off to your stationery company, you can send to your caterer, you can send to your venue with numbers, all that sort of thing. You don't actually physically have to keep a log of things, writing things down, finding it, and then creating these documents again. I think you get me. Tech is your friend and not your enemy when it comes to wedding planning. Number 10 on the list is to prepare a backup plan that doesn't fill you with fear. And this sounds crazy, but especially for UK weddings, we do not know, no matter what time of year it is, what the weather's actually going to be like. In the middle of August, it can be a rainstorm. At the end of October, it could be beautiful sunshine. So you want to make sure you are covered on all areas, especially if you're planning a summer wedding and you're thinking about having a gorgeous outdoor ceremony, then you're going to go back into the venue to have food. You don't want to just plan for that eventuality and then as it comes closer to the wedding day, see that that's maybe not going to happen and have to try and come up with something quickly that you don't love and it isn't as special as you just because it's raining and you can't be outside. So when you first get round to finding your venue and sorting your suppliers out and your schedule, make sure you are looking at 2 full plans, how you would do each one, what would it mean with each one, how would things get moved around, how would staff deal with it, all that sort of thing, and make sure they're 2 plans that you're really happy and excited about, so no matter what the weather is like, you know you're going to be covered and it's not going to be a stress leading up to the day. Number 11, that I can't do that with my fingers now. Number 11, don't plan to do things the night before or the morning of your wedding day. I see a lot of people leave it till the night before to do all the favours, for example, or maybe the morning of to start setting things up around the venue. Believe me when I say you will be so busy on the morning of your wedding day and excited and nervous for everything that's going to come. You do not want to be having to do extra tasks that could have been done far in advance, or maybe you could have employed someone to go and do for you. Make sure the morning of your wedding is just for you to get ready, spend time with your bridal party, with your family, eating, having your hair and makeup done, all the nice things. And the night before the wedding, you want to get a good night's sleep. You do not want to be up till 2 o'clock in the morning filling out table names, for example, or you want to be enjoying with friends and family that may have arrived the night before and seeing and chatting to them before the wedding day. So whatever you do, plan all your projects to be well finished before the wedding, at least a week in advance, have them all boxed up, packed up, ready to go on the wedding day, and save yourself the stress the night before or the morning of your wedding. Number 12 on the list, and this one is a really good one for setting your schedule. Allow yourself breathing room throughout the day. Don't do a packed schedule moving from one thing to the next to the next. You need downtime on the wedding day, otherwise you will be exhausted and it will fly by before you know it. As we all know, weddings do have a tendency to run behind on the day, and that is totally normal and happens. And I always say to my couples, do not wear a watch on the wedding day or be checking the time. The suppliers will keep the time for you. You go and enjoy the day and do not worry if we're running behind. But if you pack out your schedule, things can quickly get on top of each other and you'll suddenly feel like you're being pushed from one thing to the next. You're not able to chat to people, you're not able to relax and do the things you wanted to do. So it can feel really stressful and really overwhelming. So when you're creating that schedule, leave breaks in the day that you can naturally enjoy being with your guests and you can sit back and relax. And I always say, put in a little bit of time throughout the day just for the 2 of you. And I don't mean to go off with the photographer and do anything. I mean just for the 2 of you to take a few steps away, sit back, have a little chat together as you've just got married. Have this time to observe everything going on, or watching all your friends and family in that room. You will never have that many people you know in one room. So make sure you do this, step back, smile, take it all in, and you'll remember the day a lot clearer than if you were just pushed from one thing to the next and packed out that schedule too much. My last point is number 13. No matter what happens, just accept that everything is not within your control and you just need to go with the flow and enjoy it. The most important thing is that you're getting married, so enjoy every moment, take it back, relax. You've put in a lot of hard work to get to this stage. Now it's your time to step back and really, really enjoy being married and celebrating with all those friends and family. I know it is really hard not to be stressed in the run up to your wedding. There is so much pressure on you and so many things going on, but I hope this list has helped you to kind of understand the areas that you may be able to change and adapt to make it that little bit easier. If you've enjoyed this video, then please hit the thumbs up button as always and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. And of course, drop into the comments, let me know your tactics for keeping stress-free and any ideas you have to share with the group. Many of you already know about this and some of you are actually already signed up, but for those of you who don't know about it, I run a wedding planning membership. This is my bride club for brides planning their weddings who want a little bit of support in different areas. Each week I go live and I support you through different areas of wedding planning, giving you all my hints, tips and secrets to help ensure wedding planning is just that little bit less stressful and way less overwhelming. So seeing as I was talking about a stress-free wedding planning today, I wanted to drop that in, and there is a link below in the description to head on over to that page and find out everything that's included over there. If you've got any questions, let me know. I love to chat and explain what we're doing over in the group. I shall leave it there. I hope you found it really useful and I will catch you on a new video very, very soon. Bye!